Well, Kawasaki sleds update. Here's the 440 LTD. The engine seized up again, so I'm probably just gonna get it rebuilt on the top end. I was gonna anyways, but I'm hoping the crank won't be too bad. It's probably rusty, but I just hope it's not like too bad. So I'm gonna have to fund a rebuild for this engine. So what I'm thinking is, it was sitting like this in a field for a couple years, so water had to have run down these butterfly carbs straight in the engine, then just dropped in the crank and stuff. So I had it free for a while, and then I let it sit for a little bit, and it froze up again. So I took the exhaust pipes off because I'm kind of redoing them. I wire wheeled them, and I'm going to paint them soon. So I'm just doing little stuff right now, just to keep me busy. Here's the heat exchanger. The top is kind of rough, but that's to be expected. It's an 81, so it's had many years of service. I'm gonna get a new heater or coolant line because I had to cut this to get it off. Yeah, so this is the quad plug version. I mean, if I don't have the money, which I should, so I'm gonna work full time and everything, so I should have the money. But if for some reason I don't want to rebuild this engine, I think a regular 440 will fit in here, the single, like a Invader engine, but I would like to keep it original. So a rebuild on that, and the rest of the sled is not really going to be stock. I trash picked this chainsaw, but I think it's pretty much done. I'm not sure what I did with the recoil, but it was screwed up, so I'm basically going to throw this out. I liked it though because it has a small bar, so if I was on a bush trail or something and then I'd say lots of snow and a tree fell over the trail, well, I could pull out this saw, start it up, and cut away the tree so I could keep going. But I think this saw's a little too far gone. Like I said, I don't know where I put the recoil, and the part of the winding for the spring was broken, so it's pretty much junk. And I highly doubt we'll find a recoil for an old Remington saw. A Remington Mighty Might automatic oiler. So I might just have to trash this one and try to find another one. But like I said, I like it because it's got a small bar, and it came with this little case, so I could mount this case to the tunnel when it's extended, and then when I need it, just take out the case and fire up the saw and cut the tree and then move it and keep going. So yeah, I'm slowly starting to save up for this project. It's gonna be a big one. I know some people in town here that can make me a tunnel extension. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it yet, because for one, this isn't really a big concern yet because the sled's not even running. But if I was to keep the tunnel, like this part, keep going and then branch off to the bumper, or just have it flat, just the top of the tunnel going with a couple supports angling up to the top. But if that even made sense, I really don't know. Yeah, so that's this. It's going to stay with its stock twin pipes, but they'll be all spray painted nice and black. And the plan is to get 38 mil carbs. I don't really want to run these butterflies because I hear they're very finicky. But as long as I can convert the oil injection, like I have a throttle cable for the original Invader, which is pretty much nothing left of it. So if I could just convert it for the oil pump mount, which is somewhere down there, those 38 should work. And I found 3 of them for $125, so that's pretty good. And like most Kawasaki's, the gas tank threads are cracked, but this one is pretty good. Tank's a little sun faded, but what do you expect? And this, I don't know if you saw the battery, but this is an electric start model, which I'll probably revive that if I can, because if I'm out in the backcountry one day and that recoil rope breaks, well, I'm pretty much screwed. So it's good to have a backup, or use the electric all the time and have the rope as a backup. either or, it'll be nice to have a backup. So here's the hood. It's seen better days. This side's worse. Nice little chunk missing out, so I could do some fiberglass work on it, but I would really like to try and make a carbon fiber one. But there's a lot of, the LTD parts outcropped, and there's behind the window there's outcrop. There's lots of little tight spaces that I would probably think maybe wouldn't really come out as good as I would hope. But I mean, if it's carbon fiber and it's a custom mod sled, I don't really have to put all the little divots in there. See that one below Kawasaki? I'll just have to make sure the vents are right. I'd probably mesh all that so it's somewhat flat, maybe, because that has to be lifted for the heat exchanger. So unless I just bridge the gap between there or something, I really don't know yet. We'll see what happens. I would like to make one, but like I said, we'll see. It seems pretty straightforward, but here's the 79 340 chassis with a 440 engine. I basically gave to my friend. He's working on it. The problem is why this project stalled is because this clutch is different than the clutch that was on the original 80 Invader, the white one, the first one I bought. So we don't know what kind of clutch it is yet, so we can't get a puller because we don't want to waste our money. And it is quite a waste of money since we're only going to be pulling this clutch once and then probably slipping on some other kind of clutch. I kind of want to put a Polaris P85 primary on mine, but we'll see what happens there, because make sure it works with the belts and whatever. It's pretty reliable clutch though. It's simple and easy to work on. Anyways, I read online about using pouring water down the plug hole or something. I mean the clutch hole, and that apparently pulls it off with pressure of some sort, but I don't know. So I think I found a puller for it, but I'm going to post pictures of this clutch on Kawasaki tracks, and they should be able to tell me what kind it is. The threads are right here. On my 80, the white one, they're way down in the middle here, so yeah. And basically some random parts. My chain case from my 80 that I'll probably run on my LTD, because I took the time to clean it up. I don't know if I'll get new bearings, but I'll need new seals because the solvent I used would have eaten the old seals. The bearings seem pretty good, but yeah, here's the seals. See, I had to pound them out. There's the other one. So get some seals from a bearing supply place here, and yeah. So the wiring harness, I'm not sure which one he's gonna run again, because he was thinking about running this engine from the white one. I cleaned that up as well, but I think he decided he's going to run this one, because this one has way less miles on it according to the speedometer, but it has a slightly different wiring setup, so we're going to have to modify this harness, a couple of harnesses, but that's no big deal. And this kill switch was shot, so here's my 80 drifter one that I took off. Yeah, lots of random talking in this video, but like he's gonna swap the tunnel from the white Invader, the 80, because this one's pretty damaged back here, and something happened at one time, because you can't really tell in the video, but this bolt is bent, and so is this other mounting one. That one's pretty good, you can tell. So I don't know what happened. Maybe someone bottomed like the hell out of it, or hit something, because this is ripped up. Same with the mud flap. And I don't know if you can tell in the video, just the way it's sitting, but the right side of the track is mounted way up higher. So this tunnel's alright, but it's pretty worn out. And yeah, see, here's another hole in it right there. But yeah, this is a 340 tunnel, and someone put a 440 in it. At first we obviously would have assumed it was a 340, and then I was looking at the clutch and I noticed it said 440 2A right there, so it's a 440 and 440 heads, so that's pretty cool. It's a sleeper, but yeah, I was gonna swap the tunnel because the other tunnel out there is pretty good shape, and this belly pan's good, so As you guys probably remember, the white Invader had a massive hole in the plastic belly pan there. And it looked like someone, I don't know what they're doing here, maybe trying to pull the engine, but they nicked a bit of this chassis, but just weld that up with some flat iron or something just to strengthen it back up. And he also, I think he's planning 38 mil carbs, and he's got a good air box, so he doesn't really have to run aftermarket carbs, because I heard those power jets that came stock with these sleds had to run with air box or else they wouldn't run properly. And I'm going to run pod filters on mine, but he also said he's going to get AN twin pipes, but we'll see how that goes. Who knows, maybe he will. He might get some engine work done, but I have no idea. Also, here are quite a few Kawasaki parts. 2 sets of handlebars here. Junk windshield. Junk air blocks behind it, unless it caught fire or something. Heat exchanger mount. Another part of heat exchanger in there. Just random stuff. The white terrible gas. Well, not terrible, but it's a good tank, but it has the famous Kawasaki cracked threads. I think they make a repair kit for that, but both these sleds have good gas tanks, so there's no real reason to swap them. I'm not even sure where the gas tank. Oh yeah, I put it up in the rafters. The gas tank for that sled. This video is really long. Anyways, I made this aluminum dash in school with a brushed pattern on it with a SOS pad. I still got to drill out the steering post hole, but it should fit pretty decent. I just have to back this up here because, as you guys probably know, the stock dash for the speedometer and tachometer is buried back there, as you can see right here. So we'll see if that dashboard works. I'll probably put that on my sled then. I think that would look pretty cool. Now maybe a couple toggle switches here, and maybe one of those digital gauges with water temp, RPM, and exhaust gas temperature, but we'll see. And there's a spare 440 engine, 4,200 miles on it, but if I use that 440 LTD engine, I'm going to have to swap this recoil, because mine is pretty much junk, but the this setup, I can't remember what it's called, is different, so I'll have to swap that. Starter cup, I guess maybe that's what it's called. And some of my gears in here, I think they're 15. The top gear is a 19 or 20 tooth outside, and I think a 15 on the inside. So I'm going to try and get some maybe custom, a smaller gear for the top for mine, and maybe a 7 tooth driver, because spinning a 144 by 1.5 track, which is the plan, is going to put quite a bit of stress on that little 440, so gearing it lower should probably help. Anyways, this is a really long video, but these are some pretty awesome vintage sleds. Like, they were basically king of the snow back in the day, because they weren't really a factory race sled. They're a trail sled that could probably hit 85, 90 mile an hour. And they're legends in my mind, so gotta keep the legend alive, I'd say. Anyways, 14 minutes. I better cut this video before it gets any longer.